and welcome to AU Manufacturing Conversations. It's great to have you on the program.
Thanks, Brent. It's good to be here.
So let's get acquainted with the standard opening question, and that is, of course, how did you get here and what do you make?
Yeah, so a bit of a long story, but I'll try and cut it a bit short. I've mainly had a career in the oil and gas industry the last 25 years. Prior to starting Turquoise Group, which we're here today to talk about, I was working with global oil and gas supermajor Total Energies in Australia, focused on the GLNG project. And of course, being in an oil and gas company and in executive positions, the interests or the focus was on decarbonisation technologies. And this is where I really started to take an interest in methane pyrolysis, or as I like to say, it's a responsible way on how to commercialise methane gas. I guess from there, I met with two other co-founders, which, we had histories working in the oil and gas industry prior. And around 2 years ago, we all formed Turquoise Group.
And so hydrogen, it seems like the initial excitement has worn off, and there have been obviously a few high-profile projects that have gone on the back burner or just been abandoned. And graphene is another thing that created a lot of excitement way back when, and it seems like people are now treating it like it's something under development rather than something that's going to develop space elevators in the near-term future. So things are a little more, I guess, less hyped for both of those things. Tell me why you're interested in producing both graphene and hydrogen.
Yeah, both very different products, obviously, but very similar challenges. Firstly, hydrogen and graphene are both fairly immature markets, at least when it comes to low emission hydrogen. They've both suffered from similar challenges, mainly high cost, but they have enormous potential to decarbonise and add value, and a lot of other industries can grow off of a hydrogen and graphene industry taking shape. So the real point of difference with our technology is we can produce hydrogen and graphene at low cost in comparison to what's on the current market. And the markets are evolving quickly. We consider ourselves a graphene company over a hydrogen company. Hydrogen is more of a commercial byproduct for us. The real commercial piece of our technology is the graphene.
Right. And so that's what you're making. Tell me about how you're making it and the process you're using in-house and what's special about it.
Yeah, of course. So our process has been developed in-house. It's proprietary. We do have a exclusive arrangement with a French company called Planisys, who has designed a three-phase AC plasma torch technology. So this is one key part of our process. However, beyond the plasma providing the heat source, there are a number of other obviously technology processes that are key to producing graphene from methane gas. So I guess that would be our point of difference. And then, of course, bringing in our team. When you compare to a lot of other, let's say, graphene companies around the world, a lot of these companies are born out of academic institutions or universities. We've all got a commercial background, so we're bringing a different approach to our R&D and our commercial strategy to get this technology growing and out there.
To give me a little more detail on how your process works, but not from a completely scientific level, otherwise I wouldn't understand it being a non-scientist. How does this plasma torch and the methane turn into graphene and hydrogen? What happens in I guess, layman terms?
Yes, obviously it is a proprietary process, so I can't really delve into the level of details, but what is, let's say, one of the key elements to producing graphene from methane pyrolysis is you need extremely high heat. This is where plasma technologies are important. Beyond that, I can't go into the specific elements of our technology. So it'll have to remain in secret for now.
I see. And you might not be able to answer my next question because in my dumb guy way, I saw similarities between your technology and Graphene Manufacturing Group in that I see the words plasma and methane and graphene produced at the end. Would you be able to say there's any similarity, or you wouldn't be able to flesh out anything any more than what you've just said due to the proprietary nature of what you do?
No, good question. Yeah, there's no real similarities with the technologies. They're probably one of the main plasma companies is a UK company called Levidian. GMG is similar as well. They both use microwave plasma technologies. So microwave plasma technologies is a completely different process compared to ours, which is a three-phase AC plasma torch technology. And really, when it comes down to it, when we talk about, I guess, what we can offer as a competitive advantage, let's say, is the scale's different. Our technology can produce higher volumes of graphene.
So you mentioned volumes. What are the current volumes and what are the future volumes going to be?
Yeah, so currently we are developing the technology. We've passed our commercial thresholds. So currently we are capable of producing hundreds of kilograms a day from our commercial demonstration facility, which we have run in Brisbane. So this is really, as you can imagine, a significant amount of graphene powder. Sorry, that is the product that we sell. It's in a powder form.
So the financing side, how is this being made possible? And are you a subsidiary of Pure Hydrogen, as some articles have mentioned?
Yeah, it's good to clear that one up. We're definitely not a subsidiary of Pure Hydrogen. Just to give you a bit of background there. So we were spun off from the company more than 2 years ago. We're a completely independent company founded by myself, Ron Prefontaine, and Andrew Thompson. To date, the company is self-funded by the founders. Now, saying this, Pure Hydrogen is a major shareholder of the company, in addition to the three founders, and they're a key partner for hydrogen sales in Australia.
I see. Could you drill down a little bit? Obviously, you can't go too far because you're at this very early stage and you can't say everything. Tell me a little more about the economics and what they look like.
Yes, certainly. So, I mean, I already teased that we can produce, let's say, low-cost hydrogen and low-cost graphene, just to try and put that in perspective. So hydrogen is a commercial byproduct. The reason why I frame it as a commercial byproduct is it's still extremely important in terms of the decarbonisation piece and the value proposition of what we can bring. But our technology is really focused on selling the graphene volume. So hydrogen we can sell at very low prices to our customer, Pure Hydrogen. And then in addition, with graphene sales, it's a similar approach. We're really looking to target the low price end of the market because we want to grow demand. Our sales price for graphene is US $20 a kilo for bulk volume orders. So this is a very aggressive pricing strategy. And it's that way on purpose because we want to target industries that need a lower price point and industries that have high demand potential. So importantly, even with these low prices, our technology remains still very favourable economics.
And so most of the companies I've spoken to previously, for example, GMG, which we mentioned earlier, and First Graphene, have also been very interested in partnering with people and developing technology based on graphene with them, given all the things that graphene is potentially able to do, though it still needs some hand-holding to get them there into the real world. And it looks like downstream is where the margins are, apparently. That's not something that you're motivated by, or you're just chasing big volumes?
Yeah, so this is an interesting question from you because it is a point of difference. I mean, as you say, a lot of graphene companies, not all, are focused on, let's say, developing graphene products. So when you say the downstream margin, this is where the attractive margins are, I think that's kind of a symptom that the upstream costs are high in terms of producing graphene. As a company, we're focused on, of course, keeping the low prices in upstream and selling the raw product, the graphene powder for now. We're not looking at developing graphene products. Maybe down the line sometime, but it's definitely not a core strategy of the company. I'm saying that we do produce a graphene powder and we are looking at some options to sell graphene in different forms, such as dispersions or master batches, which is a different kind of feedstock to make it easier for the customer to use.
Sure. And are you very concerned with, customizability of graphene flake shape and tailoring and functionalizing graphene, or is that, again, something that you'll care about more as it goes along?
It's important to understand graphene's a family of materials. So one graphene isn't good for all the different applications. Graphene is such a versatile material. There's so many different industries that can use graphene, from creating strength benefits, reducing weight of composites, conductivity applications, thermal products, fireproofing. I mean, the list goes on and on. But it is a family of materials, and certain materials are better at certain applications. Our products are multi-layer graphene powder. Really, we're focused on bulk markets, primarily composite and coating type of applications. So smaller niche markets, we're not focused on at this point. We're really looking at, those higher demand potential markets. Concrete is one that I'm passionate about. It's one that has enormous potential to change the world, in my opinion, when it comes to decarbonisation. But it does require a lower cost point for graphene. And this is why it's an example of a market that our lower price offering can really unlock that demand.
Well, my next question was going to be about what markets you find interesting and that are going to make graphene take off as an industry, probably where volumes are involved. You would say concrete's definitely one of them. Do you see any others?
Definitely multiple opportunities here. As I mentioned, generally composites, such a broad term, from car materials in terms of lighter, stronger composites, especially in the EV sense. That's a big thing. Construction materials, obviously concrete I mentioned. You can have a lighter, stronger, low emission concrete. But beyond that, you can add thermal benefits, fireproofing benefits to construction materials. And then that's just the strength, weight, and thermal side. Then you start to tap into the electrical benefits. So battery materials is a huge one. That can range from a, let's say, low-hanging fruit opportunity of improving existing anode and cathode materials by adding a small amount of graphene. Or it can really be the moonshot ideas of creating a brand new graphene battery that can, let's say, have a big change in terms of the capabilities. So you can certainly incorporate graphene into your products at an early stage and then get incremental improvements. You don't have to, let's say, do that moonshot and try and create, let's say, a brand new product. So, not only is it versatile, you can easily incorporate it into existing manufacturing methods or processes quite easily.
And your media release the other day mentioned that you're looking to launch a commercial pilot project in 2027, late 2027. What's the path for you guys up till then look like?
Thanks for that segue, because, we have just started a capital raising initiative to fund this commercial pilot project. It will be a project that will be a similar scale to our existing facility in Brisbane. Our technology is modular, so this is another key benefit when it comes to graphene demand, let's say, is our facility will be a single module, but it will also be designed for expansion, so we can add additional modules as demand grows. So that's one element, of course, so constant market engagement on that side in the graphene space. But importantly, we will continue to optimize our existing technology, build market awareness. We are a relatively new company, so there's a lot of, awareness that has to be built. And of course, we're also looking at international expansion opportunities, primarily focused on the APC region, because this is the region where graphene demand is predicted to be the highest moving forward.
Okay, that's nearly the end of this interview, and I think we'll close out how we normally do, and that's with the question, what's an issue within manufacturing that isn't getting the attention it deserves in your view?
Yeah, I think in terms of this question, Australian manufacturing in particular, we struggle with high costs. It's really hard to compete internationally speaking. It's also hard to absorb costs to decarbonise as a manufacturing industry, because there's already cost pressures to remain cost competitive. So, I think when you look at where we sit, the APC and the amount of growth opportunities or demand opportunities in some of these rapidly growing countries, it's really the high costs which remains a challenge for us. But saying that, we have a lot of other advantages that we have to really prioritise and that is our technology and innovation space. We have to concentrate on these, and this is where we can have a big competitive advantage in manufacturing, my opinion, and this feeds straight into graphene, of course. To really grow and advance the manufacturing industry with materials, it's an opportunity that we can really grab with both hands in Australia if we just focus on our strengths and really get behind it. There's a lot of trial and error involved and R&D, but this is really, I think, the point of difference that we can bring to get that competitive advantage in our manufacturing sector.
Good. Well, it was very nice to meet you just then and to have this conversation. Thanks for taking the time, Sam.
Yeah, thanks, Brett.
No worries.